Welcome to a special edition of Sports of All Sorts. I'm your host, Marshall Kramsky. Today, I'm joined by members of the Big East champion Xavier Musketeers baseball team, head coach Billy O'Connor, and the Big East tournament most outstanding player, shortstop Jack Housinger. Guys, congratulations. Finally, over the hump against UConn. What was it like when that final out was called?
I mean, that was just, that was amazing. That was like everything. I was talking to like so many of the guys, and it's like, before every night when you go to bed, like last however many years, it's like you play that moment in your head, like what's it going to be like? Jared Cushing, my up the middle partner, the second baseman, and I can remember a specific instance, like, I don't even know, maybe a couple months ago, we were in the computer lab together, like doing some homework, and we literally like did what, like we acted out what we would do in that moment. And I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it back to see if he did his. I just completely scrapped mine, like totally got like into the moment and like didn't do what I told him I was going to do. He may have done what he said he was going to do, but that was just funny. Like you acted out in your head so many times and then it just happens. It was amazing.
You mentioned having that special moment. You had it. Ninth inning, down 1, 2 runners on base. You step into the plate with a chance to get your team ahead, to win the Big East championship. What's going through your mind when you get into the batter's box?
Yeah, that's the moment you dream of. I mean, that's the moment that every kid acts out in the backyard, you know? Like, I mean, sure, maybe for the Reds or whatever, but like this is, I mean, doesn't get much bigger than that, you know, like what we just went through. And yeah, what was going through my mind? Not really a whole lot. I tried to like stay like pretty calm, like stay in the moment and stuff, and yeah, like they say, like, you know, everybody says like, oh, it like goes quiet or whatever. I think there's some real truth to that. I mean, it was pretty calm, I would say, like I don't know, yeah, pretty calm.
What's going through your head, coach? You kind of like got to let the players play. It's the 9th inning, you're down by 1. What do you feel in that moment?
Yeah, the first question was, are we going to bunt him or are we going to let him swing? And didn't take long to make that decision because Jack had been swinging the bat so well all weekend, and just the confidence that I have in him to go out there and do what he's capable of. So, you know, just hoping he's going to put his best foot forward, put a good at bat together, and obviously he did, and the rest is history.
Yeah, Jack, you raked during the playoffs, but coming into the tournament, you weren't having your bet. You were actually statistically, batting average-wise, having your worst season. Coach, what gave you that much confidence to stick with Jack as your guy after batting 188 during the regular season?
Because of the work he's put in, you know, like, and I said this in an interview yesterday, but like people would ask, like, oh man, Jack's struggling, what's going on? Like, you can see the stats, right? And you can see the concrete contribution they make through a stat line, but you can't see all the things behind the scene. You can't see the hard work. You can't see the leadership. You can't see the defensive way that he's contributed. You can't see that he's had much better at-bats than his stats would say. So baseball's a funny game. It all evens out, right? The hard hit balls, ultimately, they get evened out by the bloopers that end up as singles. And Jack's been due some balls that are going to fall in and knew it was going to come at some point. I had a lot of confidence that he would do it yesterday.
Jack, when did your confidence swing in the Big East championship, because you were coming in struggling a little bit?
Yeah, I really don't even know if my confidence like had a big swing. It was great because, you know, when you go into the tournament, you can wipe everything that's happened, and it really does just become about winning. You know, that throughout the course of a regular season, you know, everybody can say all they want, like about like, oh, you don't like get wrapped up in the numbers or whatever, but it's always in the back of your mind, like how you're performing, you know, personally throughout the course of the season. And then when it gets to the playoffs, you know, and crunch time like that, like you don't even think about it, you know, like it's the last thing on your head, and it really is just like a clean start, and you know, you have every opportunity to just like go out there and win, and it was, you know, that was really that was the biggest thing for me.
In the last series of the regular season against Georgetown, you guys had a chance to take the 1 overall seed. Didn't go your way. As a coach, how do you prepare the guys to kind of leave that in the past and focus on the tournament at hand?
Yeah, I talked to him at the end of that series and said, guys, we've had an awesome season, you know, and no different than a 400 hitter who struck out their last at bat. Doesn't mean that you're not a good hitter because your last at bat didn't go your way. Our last series didn't go the way that we wanted, but over the bulk of what we did through the regular season, we had an awesome year. We had a bunch of top 25 wins, a bunch of road wins, a really good RPI. So I knew we were prepared, you know, and I think the biggest thing was it's tough when you ask your guys to invest so much in every game, and wins and losses hurt so much and make you so happy when you do win. When you do lose, it hurts, but you have to be able to flush it and move on to the next game. And I think our guys did a great job with that, and that starts with the leadership that we have with this guy.
As one of the leaders on the team, how did you speak to the guys going into the tournament?
It's I don't know. You have a lot of experience to base it off of. Andrew Walker and I haven't gone to the tournament, 3 times. You get to kind of tell the guys what it's like, and my words were basically, going into that weekend where it's going to be an out-of-body kind of experience. There's really no comparison to it in the regular season, and you prepare and stuff like win big games in the regular season. But once you get out there, like in the moment, in the postseason, it's like, wow, this is really like every pitch. You're really like, every pitch really does matter. Every pitch, like everyone's cheering. So that it's an out of body experience, and you just have to enjoy that because you can't mimic that.
There's one team that I'm sure you guys don't enjoy playing that much, and that's UConn. You beat them 10-2 the first time before the championship round. How much extra energy was pent up as a team knowing that, they're the ones who's knocked you out the last 2 years?
I actually do love playing them. They're a great program. We have a ton of respect for them. I think they bring out the best in us, and I think we bring out the best in them. So, you have heated rivalries where you don't like each other, and then you have kind of friendly rivalries where it's fun to compete with that other team. And I feel that way against UConn. But that being said, 100% we love to beat them, and with especially with the back history of them ending our season the past 2 years, to get that first one and put ourselves in the driver's seat, that was a huge win for us on Thursday night.
How about as a player?
Yeah, really similar. I mean, there's they're great dudes up and down that line. If you play some teams where you're like, gosh, like I really don't like those guys. Like that's not really the case with them. They're really good dudes, and the staff's good people too, and they do it the right way. And there's a really strong mutual respect between the two programs, and it's great because our biggest games of the year, are always against each other, and it's like Billy was saying, it's like it brings out the best in you, and it gets you, there's a little something extra when you go into those games, and that you don't really get anywhere else, and so it is fun. I do like playing them.
For viewers or fans who don't know, you enter championship Saturday undefeated in the tournament, meaning that you get 2 chances. All you got to do is win 1 game to be Big East champions, punch your ticket to the NCAA regionals. It was a tight one the first one, but you lost, and it turns into a doubleheader. When you don't get the win in the first game, how quickly do you have to get the guys back at it and ready to go for play game 2, because the whole season's on the line there?
Yeah, I think our guys responded in a really positive way. It's tough because that first game is your first pathway to get into the NCAA tournament. It didn't go our way, but I think our guys also understood that that's okay. We've got another opportunity here, and they understood that we were in a good spot from a pitching standpoint. So yeah, you got to clear that slate. There's 40 minutes between games. You got to go out there and compete again. I think our guys did a great job of getting ready to go right off the bat.
Jack, when the coaches walked away, what were the players saying?
We went into Prasco. The tournament site has our locker room or whatever is our tents outside, like the carnival type tents. And right away, the first thing that came to my mind was somebody get on aux. Somebody start playing some music. It's a little bit of awkward silence. Like, hey, we just lost, but we got another game. And everyone's like, trying not to freak out and be like, nobody, it's like the classic saying, nobody panic. Well, everyone's panicking, but so it's like, nobody freak out. We're fine. But everyone's like, oh my God, we just lost. But I think we did a really good job. So my first thought was somebody jump on aux, and we turned it over to, I think it was Connor Bailey who ended up getting aux.
And his first song wasn't right.
No.
I was going to say, what did Connor play?
Something depressing. I don't know if it was you or Walk or somebody was like, get the depressing song off. He's like, what do you want, some EDM? I was like, I don't know, something upbeat.
Yeah. It took him a couple tries, but he ultimately got it right, and we listened to some music, tried to get the vibes going. Jared Gadd's a great guy for that. He was, and Matt McCormick too. Those two guys carried a lot of weight when it came to flipping the script and getting us loose for game 2.
Then the emotions start riding. Going back to that 9th inning, it was a great shot of you. After you hit the triple, you're back in the dugout. You're on your hands and knees. And that moment, what was going on?
My head was pounding. Like it was. It wasn't like a headache. It was just like a pulsing like feeling in my head. So I was like just trying to like take a breather because like we still had 3 outs to get, and at that point, you know, it was. I don't even know, like a 2-run game. It was 5-3, and it's UConn. I mean, we, you know, us as players, we joke about it all the time. They're one of the best teams when it comes to, you know, coming back late in games. It seems like every game we watched of theirs this year, like they were making some sort of comeback, you know, against whoever they were playing. And so, like in my head, it was like I got to get ready to go out there and play defense, you know. And but yeah, just trying to like enjoy it and comprehend what the heck just happened, because it was just, you know. It was one of those moments where it was like, you got to pinch yourself, you know.
After the game, you had a really similar reaction on the field. You were crouched down, Coach. It looked like all the emotions kind of hit you at once, being a player, being an assistant coach. Now your first time as a head coach winning the Big East Championship. What was going on?
Yeah, I was so happy for these guys, like Jack and Andrew Walker, and really every kid on our team. Like, these kids have invested so much time and so much energy and bought into what we've asked them to do and done everything we've asked them to do. You know, in the past few years, we've gotten to that precipice and come up one step short, you know, and you keep trying to push forward, you keep trying to get there, and you keep trying to, and again, we've had great years in 21, you had a great year in 22, but when you don't have a championship, when you don't have a ring to show for it, it's not really a great year, you know, and it felt like we were so close to having that happen again this year, where, man, we were so close and we're such a good team, and I believe in these guys have worked so hard, and we weren't going to get there, and we got there, you know, and just the pure elation, the pure happiness for these guys to get to experience. It's been too long, you know. We went 14 and 16 and 17, whereas it was a pretty regular thing, and I was so lucky to be a part of those and experience those. And so desperately wanting to be able to give these guys this experience and for them to go out there and earn it, like it was an emotional moment, you know, to know the work that they put in and to see them get to pay off, like that's what it's all about.
Having been there so many times as an assistant and then as a player, and then it not happening for a few years, how much more special does that make this moment?
It makes it way more special. You know, when you do a 3 out of 4, it's like, oh, this is easy. You can do it all the time. But when you have a 6-year drought there in between, you start to realize how difficult it really is and how lucky we were in the past. So not that I would ever take any of them for granted, but I'm certainly not going to take this one for granted. When
you were a player, it was the Atlantic 10 then, but you were the Atlantic 10's most outstanding player in the tournament. What do you remember about your performance, and how would you compare it to Jack's?
I never had a hit as big as Jack's. I was never as good of a player as Jack is. But no, I mean, we had a great team in 2009, and we overcame some real odds. We lost a game early in the tournament and came back through the losers bracket, similar to how our starter yesterday bounced back on short rest and gave us a great start. We had a great start from one of our teammates that year, too, that was on short rest. It takes everybody, you know. It takes all 27 guys on the roster, whether you're making a major contribution with the hits or pitches you throw, or whether you're just the support in the dugout, or whether you're on the aux. You know, everybody contributes on a championship team.
What has the outpouring of support have been like from former players, coaches that both of you have heard from? Because it's a big one for both of you. First as a head coach, first as a player, right?
Yeah. The support's been it's been unbelievable that we've got. I mean, really throughout the year, but then, you know, especially into the tournament. And especially, you know, there were so many family members out there, extended family. I had to make sure to shout those people out, you know, on the field yesterday when I got a chance to speak. But the alumni support is incredible too, and that just speaks to like the culture that we have, you know, at Xavier, and how much, you know, how much that means to us and the players, and how impactful that is, because, you know, you got guys who are a few years removed from the program, you got guys that we've played with, and also guys, I got people, you know, reaching out to me through social media or whatever, that are, I don't even know how long it's been since they've played there, you know, but it's really, really special. It just goes to show how great the culture is, because it's so impactful that, you know, you got people reaching out from years and years prior. I had Jeff R. reach out to me, and I don't remember when Jeff played, but yeah, that was really, really cool too.
What is this 38, 40-hour limbo like? Because you're the Big East champs, but now you got to wait till noon to find out where you're playing for the NCAA regional. What's this middle ground like?
It's recovery time, honestly, and it's nice because we shifted the Big East tournament forward a day this year. Last year, the championship would have been today, And having been through this process before, it's a whirlwind from championship to selection show to practice to travel day to practice day to before you know it, you're playing again. So this off day on Sunday today is a huge day for us to recover, kind of get our feet under us, be ready to go for the week. Because again, we've accomplished something special to win the Big East tournament, to make the NCAA tournament. But I don't feel like we're done. You know, we're not along for the ride. We're not happy to just be there. We're going to show up ready to compete and try to win a regional this weekend.
What's your advice for the guys for the selection show?
Enjoy it, you know. Don't get caught up in where. It's an unbelievable opportunity, you know. Like wherever we end up, we're going to appreciate it. It's going to be cool no matter what. Just remember this moment for the rest of your lives.
How do you balance that though? Because you said, you know, we're not just happy enough getting there. We want to do well, but also you want to enjoy it. How do you balance the two?
Well, winning's fun, and I think you enjoy it when you win. But no, I mean, you do. You try to make sure that it's. Every coach says it's a business trip, but at the same time, you want to make sure that it is an experience for these guys, and you know, because it could be a once in a lifetime experience. You don't know when the next one might come, but you try to stay loose. You try to have fun. You try to make an experience for it, and I think our guys will do a great job of that this weekend.
What's the text chain been like around about the guys about tomorrow's selection show?
Fortunately, we've spent a lot of time together, so we really, you know, we haven't had to text much. I mean, I got Matt Dupre sleeping, our starting catcher, sleeping on my couch right now because his lease ran out. So yeah, I got to talk to him a lot.
You can't get him an air mattress? He's sleeping on the couch?
Yeah, he's sleeping on the couch. Yeah, so it's there's really no text going around. We're all really excited. And yeah, we enjoy each other's company so much that like it's been I don't know, it's been all smiles, it's been all positives.
Obviously, you don't know your opponents yet. You don't know where you're going, but what is it that this Xavier team needs to do in order to make noise and, you know, maybe pull off not a Cinderella run, but win some games and go to the Super Regionals?
I think it's control what we can control, you know, and I think when we're at our best, we play really solid baseball in all three facets, and I think that's what we've talked about all year, is that our success has been very sustainable. We've been pretty consistent and not a ton of highs, not a ton of lows, but we throw strikes, we take care of the baseball, we compete in the batter's box, and you do those things, you give yourself a chance every single game. Obviously, the level of competition we'll see this weekend, you'll have to play clean baseball, I have to play well. But I think when we do those things, kind of the basis of what we're about as a team, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win against whoever we play this weekend.
What about you, Jack? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we play throughout the course of our season. We play a really tough schedule, and we play everybody pretty dang close. And I think the biggest difference going into this regional is we just finished the job. We just finished our conference championship, and there's a lot of confidence that comes from that. You know, you talk about the last 3 years coming up short, 3 straight years. You know, there's a little bit of a different mindset, like, gosh, what's wrong? Can we not close this thing out? But we just did. So it's like, you know, there's something different there, and I think that when you have that mindset, when you have that kind of confidence where we're like, hey, like, you know, we just did it. We just closed. You can really take that into the regional, and when we're playing these tight games and we're ahead late or we're you know, trailing late or whatever, it's like we have the ability to close. Like, we can close. We're a closing team, and that kind of confidence, I think, can take us a long way at the regional.
Hoping for something different at a regional. I think that's all Xavier fans are hoping. Guys, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Remember, the selection show tomorrow at noon. Find out where the Xavier Musketeers will be playing in a regional. Sports of all